बरतानवी माशरा में कश्मीरियों का किरदार, बातचीत का खुसूसी प्रोग्राम। बरतानवी मेंबर पार्लियामेंट जैनत डीन की जियो कश्मीर FM 96 से बराह रास्त खुसूसी गुफ्तगू। जुमा 4 जुलाई दोपहर 3:15 पर। अगर आप भी कोई सवाल पूछना चाहें तो अपने मोबाइल के राइट मैसेज ऑप्शन में जाकर KBS स्पेस अपना नाम और सवाल लिखकर 1313 पर टेक्स्ट करें। बरतानवी माशरा में कश्मीरियों का किरदार, बातचीत का खुसूसी प्रोग्राम। बरतानवी मेंबर पार्लियामेंट एलन कीन की जियो कश्मीर FM 96 से बराह रास्त गुफ्तगू। जुमेरात 3 जुलाई शाम 7:15 पर। अगर आप भी कोई सवाल पूछना चाहें तो अपने मोबाइल के राइट मैसेज ऑप्शन में जाकर KBS स्पेस अपना नाम और सवाल लिखकर 1313 पर टेक्स्ट करें।
Number 1 station for listening at work. 96 FM.
Today we have in this special program Mr. Alan Keen, Member of Parliament from Feltham Online. Good afternoon, Mr. Keen.
Good afternoon.
First of all, let me thank you very much for the time that you have given us. I must say that you were the first person among the members of the Parliament who gave us the reply, first of all of them. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much as well.
Going through your profile, Mr. Keen, and there is one thing never, I am into the Parliament and one of my cousins in there.
Especially when we didn't get a Labour government in 1992 when I was elected. I was elected at an age when it would have been silly of me to have any realistic ambitions to become a minister. So I left, made a determined effort to leave my expertise of industry, trade and industry, and decided I would concentrate on the other issues that I knew quite well. That was those of culture, media and sport, which includes broadcasting as well as print media and of course sport as well. And I'm still a very enthusiastic sportsman even at my relatively advanced age of 70.
And you are the member of the Culture, Media and Support Select Committees even now.
That's right, which is a scrutiny committee, and our job is to choose whichever area policy that the Culture, Media and Sport Department covers, and I enjoy that very, very much.
Okay. And then, in this multicultural society that we are living in at the moment, there are many people from this specific region where I am calling you now. They are living in UK, and that's the part of Kashmir which is called Azad Kashmir. What is your personal view about the Kashmir issue?
Well, it's obviously very sad that there are such divisions. In my constituency in West London, close to 30% of my constituents have their roots in the Indian subcontinent. So I have a responsibility for helping to look after people in my constituency who have certain views about Kashmir, and I do my best not to have divisions within my constituency. And to be fair, the people from India and Pakistan and Kashmir in my constituency, they have strong views obviously about Kashmir, but they live very, very well together in West London, and I take it as my main duty to help look after them, whether it's getting visas for their families to come in for weddings, or sadly sometimes for funerals, and all the other problems that human beings of every origin have. And I regard that as my main aim as a member of Parliament. I don't get involved in foreign affairs too much because there's little I can do to influence it. I'm very, very sad about Kashmir because too many people have died and too many people live uncomfortable lives because of the division. I understand why the divisions are there. I understand very, very well. And I just want to be sure.
What about the right of the self-determination, Alan?
I'm sorry, I missed that again.
What about the right of the self-determination of the Kashmiris?
Yes, well, I mean, that's really my principle, that it's self-determination. I mean, who else should decide about Kashmir other than the people who live in Kashmir? And that's really is the only thing that's going to solve it eventually. I hope it doesn't have to go through another generation before the differences can be resolved. It's a very, very difficult problem. I understand well because I've got friends who live in Northern Ireland, where it's taken generations before the problems have been resolved there, and I hope it doesn't take as long in Kashmir for them to be solved.
Alan, do you think that the British government has played its due role for the support of Kashmiri's right of self-determination?
Well, as I said, self-determination is the only way to solve the problem in the end. I mean, I'm not a fan of intervention from outside, and I think the UK government should have that as its principle, which it does. I mean, whether it does enough, I don't know, but whatever goodwill the UK might have, it still has to be solved by the people who live in Kashmir.
Okay.
Whether it is.
Yeah. Next question is about the problem that we are facing almost everywhere in the world at the moment, which is the terrorism. And I have been to Europe. I have visited UK many times. I've lived in UK. I've lived in the other countries as well. And do you think that this terrorism, is it from the extremists or reaction of failure of Western and USA government to understand the needs of people living together from various ethnic, cultural and religious backgrounds?
Well, it's not simple, is it? I've always said that if I use again, like I did with Northern Ireland, use another example outside Kashmir, that the same principles apply. If I use the example of the Middle East, I've always said, and I believe very strongly, that it would bring about a solution quicker if the rich nations of the West and of the Middle East, because there's particularly the place where we've got some very rich nations in the Middle East itself, if investment or not so much investment, just giving money to the Palestinians, for instance, would give the Palestinian people lives worth living and make it worthwhile. They're looking forward into the future for them and their families if the resources were given to them. And in a way, I believe that probably to a certain extent the fact that the Palestinians are deprived of any sort of reasonable life, but there isn't an incentive in Palestine for the people to, there's little to look forward to with such poor income and lack of employment and facilities. And again, I think if you're talking about Iraq, that was a slightly different situation from Afghanistan, or quite different from Afghanistan. In Iraq, I think there must have been some incentive for the West, US and the UK, to go into Iraq because of its wealth in oil. It would be hard to deny that. I think also, and I think the fact that Saddam Hussein didn't really look after all of his people like he should have done, gave another added reason, which maybe the West used at the time to justify their intervention. But with terrorism, I mean, it's certainly the vast majority of the terrorists have claimed that they were doing it for religious reasons. I think they were mistaken, but I think it's really up to people of their own religion to make sure that reason is discounted or taken away.
Yeah, and was there any better solution to this Iraq conflict, you think?
Well, I've already mentioned the fact that Iraq was a special case, I think, because